Well, good morning everybody and welcome to another vlog. We've come over to Gabriola Island, which is just off the coast of Nanaimo on Vancouver Island on the east coast, and we got to the campsite quite late last night, so I went to bed at about 11 and Brian set up his tent right next to mine. Oh my god, the snoring was just unbelievable. So I didn't sleep at all last night, so I'm feeling a bit tired this morning and not terribly enthusiastic. But having said that, we have come out. We decided to hike to this location from the campsite. It's about 2 or 3 kilometers. I'm just kind of pottering around looking at the Taffany rock patterns and seeing what else is around here. It's quite cloudy this morning, so the light is very flat, so it's not great for landscape work. So I'm going to end up doing some close-up photography this morning, which is all right because I quite enjoy close-up photography. I think what I'm going to do today is try to follow a bit of a theme, and I'd like to get 5 or 6 images that kind of relate to one another. So that's kind of the objective today, and I often do that when I'm feeling having a hard time finding things to photograph. Then I might come up with a little theme and just follow that, and that kind of gets the creative juices flowing. The Taffany rock patterns are very cool here. They're very much like Hornby Island. And Gabriola is one of the Gulf Islands that make up the islands in the Strait of Georgia. So they all there have very similar coastlines, but lots of options here. It's hard to translate this stuff though. What I found, especially when the light's flat, it's difficult because there's not a lot of contrast. But perhaps these might work as black and white patterns. This is kind of cool down here. There's some kind of seaweed or something. It's kind of got pink. And then over here, this one's kind of cool. I don't know if there's any photographs here, but that's pretty neat. And there's just little areas where there's these pock marks in the rocks. All right. Seeing as I don't have an awful lot of energy this morning, let's see if I can talk you through some of the things that I look for when I'm taking a photograph. Composition. Now, this scene here isn't going to win any kind of awards by any stretch of the imagination. The whole point of this is to continue to practice your craft. And one of the things that I strongly believe in is that probably your best photographs are going to come from the subjects that you're inspired by, that you're excited about. And you know, sometimes things like this might be really exciting, and then other days perhaps not. Right now I'm not feeling that inspired, but at the same time, I really enjoy just sitting here and setting up a composition and trying to think things through. Sometimes you can overthink things, and that tends to, it doesn't really help. It kind of makes the subject look a bit too static. But having said that, right now, what I'm looking at, now this is 16 by 9, so I'm going to have to widen this out a little bit. One of the things that I really love about this is just all the different textures and the different lines going through this. So this here, I really love this part here, and this stick coming in through here. So this is going to be more or less a 4 by 5. So I'll crop it from there and about there. And one of the things I really enjoy about this is just all the different lines and the movement throughout the whole frame. And it's implied movement. There isn't anything moving in this. It's a static object, but it's all implied movement. And that's one of the things I like to try and portray in my photographs, is implied movement and the way that different objects direct your eye throughout the frame. And sometimes some of that you might have to use dodging and burning or some kind of processing techniques to try and draw your attention to different parts of the frame. And I've talked about this a lot in my videos. Something else that you really want to keep an eye on is the details, you know, little things like this and this creeping in the frame. You can either recompose your photograph so that it doesn't include those or crop them out afterwards. I prefer to do it in camera rather than after the fact. Other things that you might want to look for are little things in the background, like check all around the edges of the frame, and if you see things in there that don't feel right, then they're probably not going to be right, so crop them out. Now, like I said, this is going to be 4x5, so from like that to that, and I think I might be zoomed in ever so slightly like that, so it's more like that, I think. Something else that I'll probably have to do is focus stack this, because I'm using a relatively long lens. I'm at about 50mm on a medium format. Even at f/16, it's going to be very difficult to get everything in sharp focus, assuming that you want everything in sharp focus. Sometimes not everything has to be in sharp focus. We kind of told that, oh, you know, use focus stacking all the time. I hardly ever use focus stacking except when it's absolutely necessary, or I feel that having everything from foreground to background is sharp. Then if I think it'll help the photograph, then that's what I go for. All right, the little portfolio of the bark detail didn't last very long. I found another subject that I really like, and that is stonecrop. If you're not familiar with stonecrop, it's a little plant that grows on the rocks here. It's kind of like a ground cover, and here it's growing amongst the moss here. So I found some really nice little sections of it with leaf litter. There's some cones from the Douglas fir, and there's a few oak leaves or oak trees around here, and they've dropped their oak leaves. That's kind of cool. I found a nice little scene here with those two items. I did try to find some more details in the logs and stuff, but I was just having so much trouble with it. Maybe I'll come across something as I go up the shoreline here. So I was over here. Brian's over there, and I've just kind of walked around the bay here. It's beautiful here this morning. There's nobody around. The birds are singing. Now and then you'll get a float plane come over. So yeah, it's a really nice spot. This is pretty cool, although it's a little precarious. I'm perched on top of a rock here, but I noticed these really cool Arbutus trees, or tree, and there's a great pattern on it. I love the pinky color with the, you can see where the old bark was, and it's just kind of peeled off and fallen off. So it's left a really cool pattern underneath. I'm not sticking with my theme very well, except patterns, I guess. But I guess this is the second bark pattern, so I need probably another maybe 3 to make a little portfolio. So I've got 2. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm just concentrating on the central portion there without the background, and I've put on the 1 to 200mm lens because that's what I need to zoom in. I've come to the other side of the Arbutus tree, and the patterns continue. So that's kind of cool. There's these really cool, I guess you call them striations, and just really nice color palette. On this one, there's some kind of vine growing up it. So I'm trying to include a bit of the vine creeping into the side, just to break the pattern up ever so slightly. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this kind of stuff. I bet you guys are getting sick of me photographing Arbutus trees all the time. I have this fascination with them. But you know, look at all the possibilities in the bark here. It's really quite something. Well, we're back out looking for patterns in nature. See, Brian and I pretty much had a pretty lazy day today. Spent most of the afternoon just hanging out, napping and eating. So we figured we'd better come out and try and get some photographs this evening. Actually, it's a really lovely evening. Carrying on with the theme of close-ups. And I found a really nice little log here with some nice swirls in it. So hopefully you can come away with a few more shots of this nature. Brian found the Motherload, eh, Brian?
Yeah. Little.
He found the Motherload of
little honeypot log.
Honeypot log. The Motherload in log patterns. I'll show you. It's quite cool, actually. I don't want to copy his photographs though, but I'll show you what I'm looking at here. As you can see, there's some really cool patterns in here. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to get a couple of shots here, I think.
I've rinsed it.
Oh, he says he's rinsed it, but we'll see about that. We'll find something different. Brian's stealing my shots again. Keep stealing my shots.
I was here first.
You weren't here first. I was here first.
It's Kellen Park. He's waiting for me to move. That's how first he was here.
Actually, it is a cool spot. So you can see here that the water has undercut the cliff here, pretty much all down this beach, and we're in the shade here, so the light is quite nice. There's a kind of a reflected light off of these boulders here reflecting into this area here, but there's a nice little section here. There's a hole and there's some really nice tones in there, warm tones, and a bit of Taffany kind of at the bottom of the shelf there. So both Brian and I are zooming in this section right here. It's quite nice. And then the undercut goes all the way along this cliff. We had to kind of hang out here for a while, waiting for the tide to go out. But there's some really interesting rock patterns all along this coastline here. Well worth a visit. And if you do want to visit,
head over to my website, brianbarnham.com.
No, head over to my website, or rexby.com, where you'll find my guidebook for photographing on Vancouver Island. Just a little plug there.
Fair enough. I'll do that for you.
Well, that was an unexpected, nice little surprise, eh?
It was, I enjoyed it down there. It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, Brian and I just kind of weren't really feeling it, mostly because of the sunny weather, and we thought we'd just kind of stop here for a quick visit, and it turned out really good. I think things turned for me when Brian found those nice patterns in the log there. And then the rock pattern at the end there, that was really nice, because that's a medium-sized shot, and I was a bit tired of doing just close-ups. How about you?
Yeah, I must admit, compared to Gabriola, the rock formations are bigger here.
Yeah.
They stand out more. Whereas Gabriola, it's a bit flatter, a bit trickier.
Yeah.
Definitely more tranquil than Gabriola.
Well, that's true, because the ferry's just on the other side of the road here, and every now and then you get announcements over the intercom. Anyway, that was pretty good. I'm going to take Brian to the ferry now and get rid of him and get lost. All right, well, thank you ever so much for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to give us the old thumbs up. That's always appreciated. And if you'd like to support my channel in other ways, why not go check it out at adamgibbs.com, where I have my book Land and Light, a bunch of workshops and hats, and I can't think of anything else that I have, but all kinds of stuff. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Until next time, bye bye.
Bye bye.